this unit is talking about uh, Earth's system. And we mentioned yesterday that the Earth system is made up of different parts. Any system, any system is made up of what? A collection of parts that work together. The same thing, Earth system is made up of a collection of parts that work together. And the Earth system is divided into, we can divide the Earth system into four parts or four systems. These systems or these parts are geosphere, biosphere, uh, hydrosphere, and geosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and the atmosphere. Again, a system is a collection of parts that work together. Different processes move Earth's materials within the system and from one system to another. That means in the Earth system, the different parts exchange materials. Materials can move from one system to another. For example, oxygen is matter or a material. It can move from the atmosphere to the biosphere. When plants or when organisms take in oxygen, this is an example of how the material move from one system to another or from one part to another. And these systems, the biosphere, geosphere, hydrosphere, and sphere, are related and connected. If one, they can't work alone. If a part of a system is damaged or missing, suppose that we miss one of them or one of them is damaged, the system will not work as well or may not work at all. Of course, because they depend on each other, they work together, and the other systems may be affected. Is this clear? Fine. Earth is the only planet on our solar system that has these four systems. This is very important point to know. Earth is the only planet in our solar system that has these four systems. Other planets, for example, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, or whatever, they don't have these systems. And that's why life is impossible on these planets. Life only uh, exists on Earth. Life is possible only on Earth. Right. Because the Earth is made up of four systems and these systems work together. طيب تالا خلدون معنا تالا فرح which was absent today. Okay.
Mr. Tala is absent.
Okay, I know. طيب, for example, 7 of the planets have an atmosphere. Other planets in our solar system have atmosphere or a layer of gases that surround the planet, but only Earth has a biosphere. In other planets, there is no, or in other planets there is no, or there are no biosphere. Only Earth has biosphere. The biosphere, what is the biosphere? The first system or the first part of the Earth system, it is the biosphere is an Earth system that includes what? All living things, including humans. The first part of Earth system is called biosphere. It includes what? All living things, humans, animals, and plants. This is the first part. Biosphere is an Earth system or Earth part that includes all living things, including humans. So we animals and plants make up the atmosphere. طيب. What are, let's do this exercise, please. Listen to me. What are 4 different components of the biosphere? What are the components of the biosphere? Who can tell me?
Mister?
Did we
Mister?
solve this question?
No.
طيب. Who's talking? Sadir?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can answer. What are the 4
About,
the components of the biosphere?
is it talking about the living things in the biosphere or the other things like atmosphere and these?
Look at the question. What are 4 different components of the biosphere? Look at the definition of the biosphere. It is an earth system that includes
Living things.
all living things, including humans. So what are the components or the 4 components?
Animals,
Excellent. This is the first thing. Animals.
plants,
Animals, wait, Sadi. Animals, you can write, please. Animals, plants, that's right. Plants, then?
um,
We can say that humans and
there's
microorganisms. Add this to your dictionary. Who can tell me what are microorganisms? What are microorganisms? مين بيقول لي? Do you know what? طيب, I will tell you something. This prefix micro in science, the word micro or this prefix micro means very tiny or small. This prefix micro in science means very small. So microorganisms include what? Bacteria, fungi, viruses.
Mister?
Okay, what?
Like the small animals or
No, microorganisms. Micro means that you can't see it by your eyes. طيب.
Mister?
Earth.
Mister?
Okay, تفضلي.
I don't done the last word what? A what?
Yeah, راح ارجع لها مش مشكلة. Listen to me. Earth is a system. Okay?
Teacher,
And this system is made up of مين اللي سأل؟
Me.
يلا ايش سؤالك؟ يلا اسألي حسن.
هلا
Microorganisms means very tiny organisms that you can't see them with your eyes. You need a microscope to see them, like bacteria. But they are living things. For example, we are organisms. Animals are organisms. Plants are organisms. But plants, animals, and humans are not micro. Because you can see animals, you can see plants, you can see humans. They are not micro. Microorganisms micro means very, very small, very tiny, that you can see it with your eyes, like bacteria. Type. Clear?
Clear.
Earth is a system because it is made up of collection of parts that work together. The Earth system is made up of 4 parts. The first part is what? Biosphere. The second part is
atmosphere.
Biosphere. Okay, I am inshallah, and this lesson 1, we are going to talk about the biosphere and biosphere, and in the second lesson about atmosphere and hydrosphere.
Hydrosphere.
Yes,
Hydrosphere.
hydrosphere
And atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
Thank you. طيب. If you remember our class yesterday, what biosphere means? Yalla, raise your hands. What is biosphere? We mentioned it now. Sarah. What is the biosphere? You can use the book.
Can I?
Who's talking?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Sarah.
Me,
Sarah. Sarah, yalla.
living things.
All living things, yes. all living things, which include humans, animals, plants, and
animals.
even tiny organisms. If you say tiny or microorganisms like bacteria, is
Can I
found.
do the second one?
نعم.
Can I do the second one?
Okay. Who's talking?
Me, Sadine.
Sadiq. Juicy.
Rocks, soil, and sediment.
Excellent. Rocks, soil. Thank you. Sediments. Thank you very much. طيب. Hydrosphere. يلا. استنى شوي. مين بيحكي؟ بدنا واحدة غير سدين، بدنا غير سدين.
ملاك.
ملاك، يلا ملاك. ملاك.
الهيدروسفير is water.
Yes. Hydro means, in sense, hydro means water. Thank you. Atmosphere.
Can I?
Okay. سدين.
Can I?
يلا.
Me?
Yes.
Gases.
Gases. The mixture of gases that surround the earth is called atmosphere. Atmosphere is made up of different gases: nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor. Okay. Inshallah, in this lesson, we are going to talk about biosphere, geosphere. Then, in lesson 2, hydrosphere and atmosphere. And in the last lesson, we are going to talk about how they are interact, how the material move from one atmosphere, from one sphere to another. Again, you have to remember that all of these spheres, biosphere, geosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, working together. They are working together. Life is impossible if we miss one of them. Suppose that we don't have a geosphere, the other systems will be affected. Suppose that there is no hydrosphere, living things, biosphere will not work. So they are related, they are interacted. You can't say that each one of them work alone. They work together. Is it clear? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's continue. The first geosphere and biosphere. Right. Turn to the next page, page 100. This page is 100.05. 100.05.
Mr.
What?
Mr. Yusuf, you're going to put on the question. I still have
راح
one
ابعث
word.
لك اياه، الحل قصدك؟ حل السؤال راح ابعث لك اياه، بصور لك اياه وببعث.
Yeah.
Okay. Geosphere and biosphere. Earth's biosphere, as we mentioned, includes again the living things in the air and water and on land. Please remember that living things are not found only on land. Yes, most of organisms or most of living things found on air, on land, but are there living things on air?
No.
Of course there is. Many
So
bacteria.
yes, bacteria.
Air is full of microorganisms, of tiny organisms like bacteria. So living things can found on air. Are there living things in water? Of course, in oceans, in rivers, there are fish, whales. Many living things live in water. And on land, of course, we live on land. Animals, many animals, or most of animals live on land. So biosphere include all living things wherever you find them, in air, water, or land. Understood? Fine. The mountain lion, look at this animal, the mountain lion. شايفينه بالصورة؟
Yes.
This is called the mountain lion. Okay. The mountain lion the mountain lion in the photo is just one of the millions of kinds of living things that are part of the biosphere. طيب is
نفسي بالجنة
طيب
يا أمي.
is Rania part of the biosphere?
Yes.
Yes. Are we
Yes.
part of the atmosphere? You and me? Yes.
No.
Who says no?
You said atmosphere.
I say, did I say atmosphere?
كل ما قلت
Yeah.
إيش بيقول لك أكثر بالجنة.
I am sorry, I'm sorry. We are part of the biosphere. All living things.
كل ما قلت إيش الملائكة كملوا لي بني قصري.
نعم.
شو هاي الكلمة اللي كل ما بقولها الملائكة بالضبط تبني لي بقصري.
سبحان الله. مش فاهم عليك حسن اللي بيحكي؟
مستر صوتك بيقطع.
طيب
لا ما بيقطع، انت كل شيء عندك بيقطع انت وامها.
لا مستر.
رانيا خلاص زناخة.
طيب okay. The biosphere is able to support so many kinds of living things because of its interaction with other spheres. Biosphere interacts with other spheres. It interacts with hydrosphere. It interacts with atmosphere. It interacts with geosphere, so that biosphere is able to support millions of kinds of living things. Right. Are insects part of the biosphere? Are insects part of the biosphere?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yes, because they are.
Because they are micro.
But now let's talk about the second part. The second part of the second part of the Earth system, that is the geosphere. The geosphere is the Earth system, please highlight it, that includes what? Rocks, soil, and sediment.
Sediment.
Do you know what are sediments?
Seeds.
No. Seeds are part of the plants.
Yes, they are.
But do you remember withering?
Yes.
But withering, do you know what is withering? When rocks break down, the breaking down of rocks is called what? Withering. And for example, rocks, water, wind can, over a long period of time, can cause the rocks to break down. When the rocks break down, they, after a long period of time, thousands of years, they broke into small, very small parts, very small pieces. These small pieces are called sediments. So sediments are very fine parts. What?
Sludge. They are sludge.
مش فاهم.
Sludge.
What is sludge? No. Sediments are parts, very small parts of the rocks. So sediments are very, very fine. They are even smaller than sand. Right. All of these things together, rocks, all rocks on Earth.
Mistake.
And sediments make up the geosphere.
What you highlight?
نعم.
What you highlight?
This one. انتوا بتحضروا الحصه لما بعيد ببعث لكم اياها على الفيديو تسجيل ولا ما حد بيحضر؟ صراحه.
مش بحضر.
طيب يعني اذا مرات something you can't understand or you want to repeat something ارجع احضر الحصه. طيب this is the geosphere. It is the Earth system that includes rocks, soil, and sediments. But Do you think that there are rocks under the ground? Are there
Yes.
rocks under the ground?
Yeah.
Yes. Rocks on Earth surface are easy to see, but rocks are also below the surface. So there are rocks below the Earth's surface. Some of those rocks are molten or melted. What we call the molten rocks? Do you remember? Molten rocks under the ground are called magma. And when the volcano erupts, fine. So all rocks, soil, sediments on air surface and below air surface are parts of the geosphere. Okay, so a geosphere is one of the air system or one part of the air that is non-living. Right. Rocks are present on all parts of Earth, from its surface to its very center. And inshallah, in the next meeting, we are going to talk about geosphere in more details. Look at this introduction. For example, geosphere is not only at the surface of the air. This picture or this figure show the parts of the geosphere. Do you remember? أنتوا صح grade 5 ما أخذتوا. خلاص إن شاء الله in the next meeting we are going to talk about the geosphere. طيب شباب مالكم هيك اليوم نعسانين؟ Are you tired?
No.
طيب.
أنا هلا أصحيت من النوم على فكرة.
You understand is there something not clear today?
No.
Sadine,
No.
what's wrong, Sadine?
What?
Do you have any question?
No, I said no.
حسن، سيرين، فرحانة،
No.
رانيا، سلمى، تالا،
No.
عادة. طيب.
No.
طيب, I want to summarize the lesson today, our class today. Earth system. The Earth is a system. It's a system made of many parts that were together. These parts are the geosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. Biosphere is all living things, includes the living things, all living things that live on Earth. Okay, the biosphere includes all living things that live on Earth, and the living things can be found in air, water, and land. Geosphere includes rocks, soil, and sediments. Rocks can be found on Earth's surface and under the ground. Some of those rocks are molten, like the magma. Okay, that's all. Inshallah, tomorrow or on Sunday, inshallah, we are going to talk about the geosphere in more details. Okay, bye. Thank you for listening. I want to end the meeting.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.